What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in on what was a very busy, eventful day over in Tempe. Arizona State announcing that they fired women's basketball head coach Natasha Adair, and now the question is that going to be the only basketball coach that we see the Sun Devils decide to move off of this season? Because in case you haven't noticed, been a pretty tough season for Arizona State's men's basketball team as well. Bob Hurley's been there now for 10 years. Last 5 haven't been great. And the more I think about it, I'm really curious to see kind of what they decide to do, because he's been on the hot seat now for a while. And the Sun Devils today, it feels like they've had this kind of situation a few times now throughout the year. You look back at some of the games, but they have a chance at getting what would have been a really nice win. They battled. It was close in the second half, but ultimately, they're unable to come out on top, and they fall to 9th-ranked Texas Tech, 85-57. But that was just a 4-point game at the half. And the Sun Devils have had a few games like that this year. The Iowa State game was like that, where, you know, you look at it and you're feeling like they got an opportunity of picking up a ranked win, and then just can't close the deal, can't pull it out down the stretch, and the game just ends up getting away from them a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what you do right now, Bob Hurley. But I'm just like looking at the numbers. And again, the last 5 years haven't been great. So this is his 10th season now over there coaching the Sun Devils. He's 168 and 149 overall. So he's 19 games over 500 in 10 years. Not great. And those numbers get worse when you start looking at where he was in conference, 83 and 104. So he's 21 games under 500 in conference play. Big 12 wasn't great this year. Obviously, a lot of those years came in the Pac-12, but even still, 20 games under 500. By the way, they're second to last place right now in the Big 12 going into the conference tournament. And then kind of the big deal right here. I mean, they've made 3 NCAA tournaments. One of them was the first 4 play-in game, but still. But only one of those have come in the last 5 years. They only have 1 winning season in the last 5 years. 4 out of 5 years now, they've had losing seasons. And, I mean, that's barring an incredible unforeseen run right now, because they're 3-18 on the year. They're second to last in the Big 12, and they're getting ready for the conference tournament. So they're 5 games under 500. So they'd have to go on to win the Big 12 tournament and then make a little noise in the NCAA tournament. Call me a skeptic. I don't really see that happening with this team right now. So what do you do? Like, he is a program guy. Like, he's committed to being here. Like, 10 years in. But maybe it's time for a new voice. It's time to try and find some new blood, something, because it's not working. That's the first thing. And the second part of that is you're getting support. Like, you can't blame it on not getting NIL money. You can't blame it on because you look at, like, this year, even, like, the idea that you're not getting money to get players is off the table after what James Harden did, kind of coming back and giving him all that money down there to try and go out and recruit some players. So now that he has money, do you give him 1 more year and you say, like, this is a make or break it, like, we can't do this again? You've got some budget. Prove that you can recruit in this new era. And if you can, then we can continue to, like, fill up this NIL budget and let you go out and get some guys. Or do you say, we got money now, we need to go out and get somebody else, somebody that can get us some young talent, somebody that can go out there in the portal and connect with these kids and kind of get us a better recruiting class than what we got coming in? I don't know. It feels like it might be time to move on. I think you're going to see Arizona State move off of him unless the Sun Devils go on some kind of run here in the conference tournament. It's not great. It's not a great spot to be in, But I don't know what you do because 3-18 is not going to cut it. Second to last in conference, 4-16 in what was a very down year for the Big 12 is not going to cut it. And then there's like the other parts and elements to it that hurt when you think about like when they played Arizona and kind of all the aftermath that kind of came after the game with him, John, and like there's a certain decorum that he doesn't always follow. And you can swallow that and you can put up with that a lot when he's winning. And you can be like, that's our guy. He's going to bat for our team. Like, you know, what? That's fine. That's normally kind of there's a certain tolerance versus production that happens in sports. The more production you have, more we're willing to put up with. But when you're losing, and that's what he's been doing for 4 out of the last 5 years, those little tirades, all the things that he's got going on after games, you only put up with them for so much. And like you get all this national press that's not great for the team. And I know obviously Richard Jefferson's a U of A guy, but when he starts going off on the team and starts talking about how unprofessional he was and he starts going off on what Hurley was doing, that adds to it. I mean, that's on the scale for sure. So what comes next? I mean, they have got, if he has any chance of keeping this job, I mean, they have got to go on a serious run. And I don't see it. I think there's a pretty good chance, you know, within a week here after this conference tournament gets wrapped up for him, we might have seen the last of Bobby Hurley over there. And then the question turns into, who do they look at if they decide to move off of him? Cross that bridge, I guess, when he gets here. But, man, another tough one today for the Sun Devils. That second half got ugly. And how long are you willing to just keep running it back? 10 years with them now. 3 tournaments. 1 in the last 5 years. 1 winning season in the last 5 years. It's not good enough. Plain and simple, that's not good enough.